So the first tool I want to show you is napkin.ai. It's a free software that does have a paid plan, and it can basically take text like this and turn it into an infographic. And where this actually is better right now than ChatGPT 4.0 is you get a ton of choices in your image. So 4.0 is just going to take between the nerfs to like what you can do and how many times it's like, oh, you need to wait in between each image you're trying to create. It's going to take a longer time to make an infographic. Now, 4.0 has its benefits, but Napkin AI is really cool. You can see I basically just took this text and I turned it into a infographic that, has to do with my actual, like what I'm trying to explain. And then here you can get different styles of, let's say I like this one, I can get different styles. They all have kind of a similar look, similar color scheme. Like this napkin.ai kind of has its like brand colors. So keep that in mind. A tool that can save you a ton of time is the new Gemini 2.5 model. This is an experimental new model. It's ranked the highest on the chatbot arena, where these chatbots or AI tools are basically benchmarked versus each other by random people just seeing them prompts blindly and choosing the best one. You can see our Gemini Pro is the highest right now. So let's jump over to Gemini Pro and see what it can do. So if you come over to gemini.google.com, you can basically use Gemini for free. I'm not sure how many prompts you get before you get stopped, but basically it is the best on the market as of shooting this video for coding. So I wanted to see how it would do with my baseline test, which is create a game of Snake. So it has something called Canvas, where it's HTML Canvas, and you can build a game inside of here if you're not tech savvy like me and don't know how to like build the game in Python or some other language. And I basically said, create a game of Snake. And then it thought and created the code, and then it did it in Python. And I said, try it in Canvas. Let's test out this game of Snake. It actually fully works, which is crazy. I think it looks really good. There really were no issues that I see. You can restart the game. There's a high score. I actually don't think the high score sticks. That would be the only thing I would redo with this game if I was going to. And when you lose, you just press restart and you can play again. I mean, that's crazy. This is very recent that you could just make a game in browser, just say make a game of Snake, and it literally makes a game of Snake. Let's jump over to X, Twitter, and see what other people are making with Gemini. Troy says these are 10 wild examples of Gemini Pro being the best coding model right now. There's an office simulation game created inside of Gemini, created a $1 personal intelligence agency daily briefings. So this scrapes news sources 24/7, uses Gemini 2.0 for that heavy lifting, and Gemini 2.5 Pro to write the final briefs. That is pretty cool. This guy created a physics simulation. These were all one shots, but one shot is just, one prompt like I did with the Snake game, but continued to query Gemini for the best results. This person created a fully functioning CRM, customer relationship manager. This was the prompt. Let's see. Wow, it actually created a functioning CRM. That is pretty crazy. Obviously, it's not going to have all the features of a fully functioning CRM, but that's pretty crazy. That's miraculous, I would say. Here's a cool procedural generation app that was built inside of Gemini. This guy was able to one-shot prompt Minecraft, which I have a feeling is a bit of a stretch. Let's see. Okay, he might actually have done one prompt. He was doing this inside of Cursor? No, this is just Google AI.
Pro creators and build.
Okay. Wow. Actually did a 3D game. Okay, I think he had. Then he prompted again to get zombies. I mean, that's crazy. Obviously, it's not Minecraft as good as Minecraft is, which, no one's expecting to be, I hope. But that's pretty insane. He got a 3D game. I don't know how. I don't think he's playing it in the canvas. I'm not sure. how he actually like got into the game, because I still don't really understand that, where to like launch these things. But yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so you can see the power of Gemini 2.5, and it's still in experimental mode. It's going to probably get even better. Obviously, there's going to be new models soon, and it's not getting worse from here. But pretty cool if you want to code some things yourself. You don't necessarily have to just make games. There's tons of non-game applications of this. And like I showed, it's actually scoring the highest on basically the arena. It can be even more favorable than ChatGPT in its responses for just everyday use. The next tool that's going to save you a ton of time is ChatGPT's brand new 4.0 image generation. It's a new image generator that can basically generate anything that you think of, and truly has very few limitations. It does have some. There's obviously some, like, you can't do, you know, illegal things on it. It's not going to let you like write certain things, but like for most use, it is crazy. And I want to show you some examples. You can use this for fun or professionally. Let me show you a professional example. I actually found this on Twitter, and I just literally screenshotted. Someone sketched out like what they wanted for a thumbnail, and then this was the prompt. So then I just literally screenshotted it, which is hilarious. And it actually did it. It did everything except the lights. It has the trees, it has the jersey, it has the baseball bat, the hat, 1,000 miles per hour in text. Look at that. I mean, that's insane. That is super crazy. There's no real issues with this that I see. Obviously, this is, you know, it looks a little AI-ish, but to go from ideation of, I could literally, you know, sketch out an idea and put it into ChatGPT and get an output that looks pretty good on the first try, and I know I could make it better. Like, for instance, one thing you can do with 4.0 now is say, now add trees behind, or him, sorry, lights. And let's try to change the font to a Mr. Beast font by just literally screenshotting. I haven't tried this, but it's really good at applying things like the font type to a new image. So I'm going to say 1, now add lights behind them. 2, take the font in the screenshot and change the 1,000 miles per hour to that new font. Let's see how that does. I have a full video showing what ChatGPT 4.0 can do, because it truly is incredible. If you want to see a full video, make sure to watch that. You can probably see it in the description down here, or you can go onto my channel and find it. There's so much cool stuff that 4.0 can do. Definitely watch that. And while you're at it, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you want more videos like this. So another cool thing that 4.0 can do is basically take an image and turn it into a ton of other types of images. So like Studio Ghibli, Pixar, whatever, Popeye style, and then like whatever this is. And it can do that really well and just take that like first image and recreate it in these different styles. It's crazy. This person basically just was able to make, it can do mind maps really cool. Obviously not quite the right text, but it can do text really good now, which is a huge update from the model before, ChatGPT Dolly 3 or whatever. It couldn't really do text at all, like super not well. This is not quite right, but like the animation here is really cool. Obviously you could just take the text out and, you know, add text. Okay, this is really cool. This person created animation out of 4.0 image generation. He did use for sure a different animate. You can't animate things with 4.0. I'm not sure what he used, but he basically took Severance and then created a ton of different images, and then he animated those. But let's just look at it because it's pretty cool. This is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, lavish hand-drawn fantasy, Betty Boop Popeye. It was like, yeah, Pixar style. I'm just crazy. Like, I've done so many images myself. I'm just looking at like the top ones that I know all of this is possible. Like, it's crazy what it can do. Here's it basically creating real images, which this isn't quite ready, but it's crazy. Like the bad and good things you're going to be able to do with this. Just like you can recreate a receipt. You can recreate an email. You know, there's a lot of options there. So here's that sketch that I saw that I took. Let's pop back in and see how my additions went. This is their one shot. A little bit better than mine, but I mean, mine was pretty dang good. Okay, and here is what it did. Did it change the font? Not really. to tell you, to be fair, the font's decently similar as it is. It did add lights. Let's see, it added some text on his jersey that I wouldn't actually want. It kept the rest pretty similar. Definitely changed the color here. But yeah, overall pretty dang good. I would say I'd probably cut these I'd cut these lights and keep these because it is more dramatic. Definitely made it more, I think it made it better. Again, you can just talk to it and basically like, I could be like, okay, now remove the lights on the bottom, and it keeps the same image for the most part and the text on the jersey. It's just crazy that you can do that now. Like never before has there been like text to image where you can keep the same image and modify it and or put in images to recreate those or sketches. It opens up so much possibility. I'm going to show my most recent favorite example of basically changing my pet Snoopy. We call him Sir Snoopy from Puerto Rico because we think he's quite a gentleman and a scholar. So I wanted to see him with a top hat and a pipe. So 4.0 just basically like recreates everything. And obviously doesn't get it quite right, but I thought this was pretty good. But I found going back and forth with any AI is generally how you get more favorable models. So I was like, remove the background, have the pipe smoking, and give them a spectacle. So that was pretty good. And I wanted him to cross his paws because he does that in real life and it's gentlemanly. So this is getting even better. But then I was like, I asked ChatGPT, how can I make him look like more of a distinguished gentleman? And then I basically just said, give him everything you just suggested. And then I had a limit, which you'll find a lot right now is you're going to get limits on your image creation because so many people are doing it. And then it created this, which I loved, but still wasn't quite right because he's a little bit pinker around the eyes. And then I created this without the mustache, which I think does look better. And I thought this was perfect. Honestly, this is like a 10 out of 10 for me. So just that I could go from this and imagine him with like a top hat and a pipe and more and go to this is super, super cool in my book. And I think that really looks like him, like really similar. Obviously not 100%, that's like 95%. So that's amazing. All right. So here is an example. Honestly, I have so little issues with ChatGPT messing up recently in terms of the photo. It didn't get it quite right. I would probably start again. Look, this is crazy that you can even do this in 10 minutes, have something that's this good. And then, you could just try again and try to get another shot. That is the biggest issue with this is you have some consistency errors. Obviously this one isn't going to work because it cut off the miles per hour. It for some reason got cropped in. It didn't quite do anything except it removed the text on jersey, but like that I can go from here to here is just crazy and impressive on its own. And that I could just keep on trying this until I get the perfect image and change the prompt maybe a little is incredible. So the next time-saving AI tool is Perplexity. Perplexity is kind of the underdog that you might have forgotten about after using ChatGPT, but it really has its use case. And for me, the main use case is one, it can actually search the internet a lot better and give a lot better lists a lot of times than ChatGPT I've found. So when I want a faster deep research, I'll use this over using the ChatGPT deep research that can take a lot longer, but can be really good. But basically for a lot of just web searches that I want in more detail or listed or researching, I'll use Perplexity. I do use ChatGPT a lot. They kind of have their strengths and weaknesses that you'll have to just experiment with and find out on your own. Let's just look at one of these trending searches that it's suggesting and see how it's different from ChatGPT. So let's just look up the same thing on ChatGPT. I'm going to say search. So here's what you get from ChatGPT. Pretty good. It does give citations that are generally real. Sometimes you have to check and make sure that they are real. This is pretty good. A lot of times I don't actually get this good, and that's the reason I would use Perplexity. How Perplexity shows what it's showing, I kind of like visually, like how it's like the font, the size of the font, and the bolding. It basically got the same info though, to be honest, in It's a little bit more detailed on Perplexity. I would give the award to Perplexity here, but pretty close on ChatGPT. I do like this related section. It just kind of uses AI to, basically come up with what you might want to ask Perplexity based on what you just asked. So you can kind of go down a long thread versus ChatGPT that's not here, and you're going to have to ask that yourself. So let's just ask this same thing to ChatGPT. So the launch titles are going to be these launch titles for the Nintendo Switch 2. Let's see, Mario Kart World, Street Fighter 6. I don't actually know. I can't really compare, but it seems like these are somewhat right now. Yeah, I'm not quite sure which one is right because this has way more, which is just like an issue with either platform. Sometimes you do need to double check on the other internet, which is Google, and there are citations, which is good. Like here, IGN is a trustworthy source. We can see that these are the launch titles, and these, I guess, it looks like Perplexity did a better job here, a more thorough job. Another cool way to use Perplexity is to come over to the Discover tab, and you can customize this to how you want. I haven't done that much, but you can really find out a lot here. And what's cool is, let's take this one. You can ask follow-ups about this, which is something ChatGPT doesn't have and can be really nice. So I could ask a question about this, like, how can I use this image generator? All right. And then it tells me how to use ChatGPT and enter the prompt, basically. And it gave me the prompt idea. Like, that's really cool and really powerful. So this Discover tab you could really utilize to just learn about what's going on trend-wise, to create content about, to just, or just consume content and figure out, interesting things that are happening around the world, but then also ask questions about these things and really learn quicker. You can also use Spaces, where you can basically upload files here. You can collaborate with people. ChatGPT has this same thing called Canvas. I believe they're about the same. I don't use them, but these might be good for you. And then you have Library, where everything you've asked is here, which is pretty interesting. So that's Perplexity. At a high level, I think it really has its use in conjunction with ChatGPT, and the basic models on both of them are free. So utilize them both. I like to bookmark all my AI tools I use a lot up here and basically have them ready to go when I have a specific idea. So the next tool is Claude 3.7. It's a newer model that was just dropped, and where Claude really excels is writing marketing copy. I haven't used it for that much else. I am a marketer myself, and for doing something like writing a 45-minute video sales letter, it is incredible. So if you do any sort of marketing, writing, stuff like that, content writing, I really think Claude is, I think it's the best. Sometimes I do get better outputs from ChatGPT, and I haven't tried Gemini 2.5 versus it, but I get a lot of really good writing from Claude 3.7. So here's a 45-minute VSL. I gave it the prompt. I work for my brother, Ty Lopez, and I said, write a 45-minute voice VSL from the voice of Ty Lopez based on the transcript uploaded. So this transcript, I don't even remember what this was. I think this was from an event Ty did, and he basically pitched from stage, and I wanted to create a video sales letter out of this. So I basically gave this, basically all I did was say, do it based on this, use the following sections to format the VSL. Oh, and these are format, it looks crazy, but this is like 20 different triggers to go through for the VSL, like a hook, like a benefit stack, my background, paste the pane. These are all things to create a better video sales letter. And I basically gave it that. I gave it the script, and then this is what it output, which I'm not going to obviously read you the whole thing, but you can see if you do the same thing in ChatGPT, and I did, you're going to get way less information. A lot of times Claude will also give you how to edit it with the sound or the visuals too, which is really cool. But you're going to get way less content, actual words from ChatGPT, and a lot more back and forth. This might not be 45 minutes of words, but this is, I don't know, this is 15, 20, 25, and I could get it longer if I wanted. But like for a one shot here, like this is usable. Obviously some of this text and stuff would need to be changed for the voice, but you see the idea, and you can really save time here, and money, not having to pay a copywriter. You can copyright yourself. You need some, you kind of need to know what it's going to look like. What good copy is, and you can model it, I put in here's what I want like it to kind of be based around. There's a lot of different video sales letter scripts. Anyways, I'm not going to go too far into the marketing side of it, but you can just be like, here's what I want it to look like. Here's the original source, or here's the idea and prompt, and you're going to get some really good copy. So writing, you can save a lot of time with Claude. Okay, for the last but not the least time-saving AI tool, it's NotebookLM by Google. Again, it's a really cool new way to learn and use AI to learn better. So let me show you how it works. Basically, you go to notebooklm.google.com. It is free, and you can upload what you want to learn from here. So you can upload, a file. You can upload Google Docs, Google Slides, website, YouTube, copied text. In this case, I'm going to take a YouTube that is about AI agents. The video is about AI agent fundamentals in 21 minutes, and I'm just going to upload it here. I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to say insert. Now it knows the video title, and it has it should have a transcript of it. So there's a ton of things you can do here. First, it just gives you a summary of it right away. So I know it's a 21-minute video, distilled explanation of AI agents covering the definition, agentic versus non-agentic workflows, the concept of autonomous agents, kind of complicated stuff. What's cool here is a lot of different things. Let's look at some different things you can do. One is I can just ask questions like, can you give me the definition of AI agents, but to a 10-year-old, because they're a little complicated. Imagine you're a super smart robot friend that's now AI. Now, sometimes when you ask a regular AI to do something, it's like growing up to write a whole story from beginning to end. That's not really an AI agent. The AI agent is a smarter way for the AI to work. Instead of doing everything at once, it breaks it down in smaller pieces, like making an outline and then doing some research and then writing a story. It's like when you're planning to build a really cool Lego step by step instead of just throwing all the bricks together. This way, the AI can get much better results. So AI agents, it's a way to get much better results by breaking all the pieces into smaller, or all the steps into smaller pieces. AI agent is a super smart problem solver that works by breaking big tasks into smaller steps and can sometimes even figure out how to do it all by itself. Love that 10-year-old explanation. I can ask infinite follow-ups here. That's crazy. Distinguish agentic from non-agentic workflows using examples. What's cool here is it also it shows where it took from this original video. So it gives citations. So you can just go ahead and just chat with this video, which is in itself really powerful, because I don't know of another place to do this, because Google, YouTube scripts you can't just do this with ChatGPT. It doesn't work. I can't just straight up put that and just try it. You can't do it. So that's really powerful. You can just learn from a video like this versus having to watch it all, or especially if it's a super long one, or if you want to go back and learn from one that's very heavy or wordy or long, and you forgot some things about it. Another really cool thing you can do is generate a deep dive podcast. It basically generates all the text and has two people talking about this video, but in a way that's entertaining. It's like listening to a podcast to learn. It's really cool. I don't necessarily use this to learn, but it's kind of mind blowing to see how it works for the first time. So here it's kind of your space. You can add a note about this. Okay, I want to take this, whatever. I could add a note. You obviously have all your different notes in one place in that page I was just showing. You can create a study guide. You can create a briefing doc. You can create an FAQ. You can create a timeline. Let's create all of those for this and see what that looks like. You can also add sources here. So I could have multiple videos, let's say on AI agents, and it could pull. Now I kind of created a repository of information that I can pull from to learn from. So you could put a whole bunch of videos, and not just videos, you could do any of these sources, up to 50 different sources. I mean, this is just a crazy learning tool, and I don't even probably know everything in here. There's more you could do to be even more efficient and learn faster. So here's a timeline of AI agents events based on the source. So yeah, it's just creating like kind of a way to think about things is in timelines, I guess. So it's saying like early stages. Now there's agentic workflows, emergence of autonomous AI agents is kind of the future where like they don't even have to break it down into smaller tasks. They just do it all for you. It's like, go, get me 50,000 people to click on my website. And it just, the AI model does that all for you. So that's cool. Let's see. Now let's go. Here's a briefing document. Excerpts from this video, basically. The data was filmed, overview. This is like a cool, like high level of the video. Defining AI agents. Clarifies that simply asking AI to perform a task in one go, one-shot prompting is not an AI agent. AI agents, yeah, again, break it down in smaller agentic design patterns. This is a mnemonic she goes over in the video. Red turtles paint murals. So reflection is one of these design patterns, tool use, planning. So this helps me because I watched the video now. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember red turtles paint murals, and I can remember this mnemonic. And then multi-agent architectures, practical application. So that's really cool. Let's go back here. And here's the study guide. It actually creates a quiz for you, which is super cool. And just gave me an idea of how to create a quiz for in our company. We need a quiz for one of our products, and why not just upload all the information here and create a quiz from it. All right, answer the following question in 2 to 3 sentences each. What is the key difference between a non-agentic and an agentic AI workflow when approaching a complex task? One breaks it down, yeah, and one doesn't. Cool. So this would quiz you on how well you know it, quiz answer key, and whatever. We don't need to go over that, but that has the answer key. And then has essay format questions, glossary of key terms. I mean, this is crazy for learning. Okay, now let's listen to the podcast that this NotebookLM just made for me to learn about this, the video I basically put in here.
Here, let's unpack this. AI agents. You hear the term everywhere. And if you're like me, you might have felt a bit lost in the buzz, despite trying to get a handle on what they actually are.
Yeah.
I dove headfirst into this multiple courses, piled with research papers, tons of videos, building some myself, and my notes still flocked in at over 200 pages.
Right.
So if you've been feeling a bit overwhelmed by the AI agent, you're definitely on it.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because even with all that digging, trying to nail down one single rock solid definition, it's surprisingly tricky.
Right.
It's such a new space, and it's moving so fast.
Let's click around here.
It's fun, but it doesn't stop there.
You can then prompt the AI to meticulously review its own code check for accuracy, style, efficiency, and
Just monitoring, self-viewing the code.
Got it. And you can link these patterns. Yep, right. That's good.
That's just crazy. You can just make a podcast out. I should have probably chosen a more interesting thing. A lot of you probably don't care about AI agents. And it is a little like tech, whatever. It's like kind of complicated, but like you can make this about anything, any video, you could write whatever you want and make a podcast out of it. Like it's crazy. There's an interactive mode with it too. You're supposed to actually be able to talk to it here. Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Whoa, you thought we could break the fourth wall? Let's hear it.
Hello.
Well, hello there. Great to have you with us.
Absolutely. Always happy to hear from you.
We were just about to dive in.
Yeah, dive in. I'll interject in a second.
We were planning on starting by explaining what they are.
Which is just firing up a single question to a state.
Think of it like asking an AI.
Wait, can you explain that again?
Go.
You'll get something that is probably wrong.
You have to click join. Can what do you mean you can't just shoot off a single prompt to it?
That's exactly the point we're trying to make.
Jump right in. You just want to know that.
It's not like flipping a switch and getting a perfect result.
Right. That one-shot approach isn't sometimes felt.
But it really doesn't leverage the true potential.
Okay, so let's unpack this a little further.
That's crazy. So you can just like join and talk with these podcasts that you created out of magic. That's crazy. So those were the time-saving tools. I'm confident if you start using 1, 2, 3, 4, start stacking them for your different uses and purposes, you're going to be able to save time, learn faster, save money, and just be altogether more productive. This is just a good time to get in, start jumping in and trying if you're not already trying other AI tools, you might be super advanced, you might be super beginner. I would say start with ChatGPT if you haven't started with anything. And then from there, try different ones based on your use cases. You know, if you're a writer, try using Claude. If you want to make images 4.0, if you want to code and make games, try Gemini 2.5. Perplexity, searching the internet and just kind of like working with like searches and kind of asking follow-ups, and using NotebookLM if you want to learn faster. I'm confident these tools, this is game changing, never before happened. Technology is incredible and moving so fast. So, you know, learn as fast as you can, stay on the train, and like this video, subscribe if you want more videos like this, if you want to keep on learning about AI and, you know, getting updates like this. So I'm Ben, and I'll see you next time.